do better in moving people as opposed to our good old independent, I'll drive my Suburban and you drive yours. So we haven't looked at that much, TJ. And again, our authority would just be in the unincorporated areas, which would be just pockets, and certainly wouldn't just be every city within the county. I think those city councils still have to deal with that issue.
Speaking of the transportation issue, just recently, Commissioner's Court, I think, approved some base funding to help keep the San Leon. Is that already been approved or going to be looked at on the Connect Transit, the routes that they're doing in that Dickinson and San Leon area? Has that already been approved, or is but it's coming down the pipe to help funding with that? Transportation seems to be an issue. It came up during the budget process. That with dovetailing with offer transit, that's going to be an issue. More and more now.
Yeah, I mean, there's two types of issues. One, we'll continue to do the infrastructure, the roads and stuff, and we've got a good plan that will take us down the road to continue to build infrastructure. The more pressing issue that is going to get bigger and bigger, especially as the population continues to grow, is transit dollars. And how do you move people around a community? And that's there comes the rail issue, the commuter rail issue, the park and ride issues, the fixed bus route issues. Those are where those things are going. That's why we created the transit district, is to bring focus to that. Have one group that kind of like our Beach Erosion Task Force, but on a broader scale. You know, the Beach Erosion Task Force deals with the beach issues for Galveston County. When the GLO has a grant for CIAP or one of the other KEPA grants, you know, we don't go up there with the city of Galveston, the county of Galveston, the park board, Jamaica Beach, the private sector. You know, we go to the table with, we fight our priorities in turn. We go to the table of those grant people with one request that we all sign off on, so it improves our chances. And I think you've seen us, you look at those numbers compared to other counties along the coast, we fare pretty good. And so the same thing with the transit dollars. We don't want Galveston doing their thing and League City doing their thing and Dickinson. And, you know, we want to bring some focus to it where we can have an effective, integrated, communicated, coordinated effort on transit. And yeah, we're going to support. It's not much money. It's $12,000 to $20,000, TJ, for that subsidy because they lost the federal grant. So
let me go back and pick up a question from the healthcare. If the county raised the limit on what it was willing to pay from 30 to 60, do you have any idea of total cost?
I don't. We've asked that question before, and it's a guess, it's an estimate. But we probably have historically even probably 5 or 6 what we call large cases. And large cases would be over the $30,000 in a given year.
Something like $150,000 to $200,000, something. That's what we're probably talking about.
Yes, and then the clock resets every year. So if you're in a chemo regimen, we hit the 30,000 limit, and in January 1 roll around, we can get you another 30. And that's, you know, it's unfortunate that some healthcare decisions are being made based on that. That's not good.
You've received some criticism, including some from us, about the serving some private boards.
Yeah.
Tell us, do you still believe that's the right thing to do?
I serve on an advisory director of Texas First, and we probably meet quarterly for literally an hour, and it's an afternoon 5 o'clock type meeting. I serve on American National's board, and there, as far as the time constraints, you know, it's 5 times a year, about 2 hours a meeting, 10 to 12 type time frame. Probably have, in addition to those 5 meetings, probably 5 committee meetings that go with the board meeting. And that's another, couple hours a quarter, 3 to 5 type of meeting. So from a time constraint, it doesn't divert my time and attention from my business at all. That's what I mentioned to TJ yesterday. I'll put my work ethic up in Galveston County or anywhere to anybody. I'm there, I'm hands-on, I know the detail, I don't just gloss over and look at the big picture. TJ wants to know about a $12,000 commitment to San Leon fixed route bus with MHMR. I'm antennas up and on top of those details. So from a time commitment to Heber, I don't see any problem.
What about the criticism that it just doesn't look right?
America decided to settle for this $366 antenna deal, which we will correct. I've already, since Fox brought it up, we're going, the 911 district handles communication, and they'll be dealing with whether we need the antenna on top of the Anaco Tower or not the county. American National doesn't do any business with the county. I think I've demonstrated I haven't had that many conflicts of interest issues, but whenever I do, I won't even participate in the meeting because I don't want to be a indirect influence over it. I would leave the meetings for discussions, but American National is not in the business areas that we need services for, so I don't see a conflict in the operation.
You not discussed this, in the story, and so just give you so you're a chance to be on the record with that. While American National doesn't have it, obviously you can't separate the Moody's from American National. Robert Moody, obviously the head of Moody Bank, which does have a huge amount of business with the county. Talk about that process, where your role plays in there, because while you don't serve on the Moody board, or that, there is the perception of this kind of intertwined.
Yeah, they're all an integrated operation.
And to that end, too, Texas First has business as well with the county.
Our bank depository by statute is handled by the county treasurer, not even the purchasing agent. And so it's every 4-year process, and that process I think is coming up this next year. So the language is tied to the governor's race. So when the governor's elected the next year, so Kevin Walsh, the county treasurer, deals with all those processes. He's got his own criteria, not approved by the court, on what he's looking for. He makes a recommendation to the court. He's the one that negotiates the quote contract for the county, and we have 2 types of bank contracts. We have our main contract, which is what Moody Bank has today. And we usually have 2 or 3 proposers. Moody Bank, Frost Bank, Bank of America, the bigger players deal with that because it's a lot of volume and a lot of activity. And then we have what we call a participating bank contract, which allows banks to offer what they'll pay us on CDs and certain services, but on a much smaller scale. So we can actually contract with them. And so that does 2 things. One, it allows local banks to participate in public funds by CD and stuff versus our just big old heavy checking accounts that run a lot of volume. It also provides, the participating banks also provide us a vehicle that, and it's changed now with the branch banking concept and things, but in the old days, you could be out there on Highway 6, there wasn't a Moody Bank, but there was a Texas First Bank down the street, so the JP and the constable and the tax office were used. So that's how the banking contract gets split up. Not many people want the big one. And so, I don't have a conflict there other than the Texas First. I do abstain from